let's talk about it. So the other day, I caught about a 55-pound beaver, okay? And I always get asked all the time, hey, do you eat those things? Right? Not the most appetizing looking thing out there. The truth of the matter is, if you'd asked me a few years ago, I'd have told you, hell no. I ain't touching it. That's for the mountain men and for the Indians and everybody else, and good for them. I'm glad it kept them alive. I ain't touching it. But I got curious. I started listening to this podcast called Trapping Radio with Clint Locklear. And I think Jeff Dunlap has taken it over now. These are some big names in the trapping industry, if you don't know. They make a lot of lures and stuff and have really been pioneers in trapping and keeping everything alive and well. And they all talk about how great Beaver is. Now, there's another YouTuber, Meat Trapper. If you ever check him out, he used to live here in Alabama. I think he's moved. I'm not sure where exactly he's moved, but I think he's moved. But anyway, that was his big deal, was, keeping these beaver and eating them. And so I decided to try it one time. I ground it up. Of course, I used beef fat with my ground because that's the same thing I do with my deer burger. Fat is flavor, and most wild animals don't have a whole lot of fat, and the fat they do have usually ain't all that great. So I added that to it. First time, why not? And me and a buddy tried it. My buddy Jordan, y'all have seen him on here a few times, and it's one of the best hamburgers I've ever had. So in the last video that I made where I actually caught this beaver, I kind of mentioned that I'd like to make some sausage balls. I want to make a beaver sausage, make some sausage balls, and then feed it to some friends who don't know it's beaver and just kind of see what kind of reaction we get. So that's the mission tonight. I quartered out that beaver. I let it soak in some water overnight, and I just got done butchering it up. Now I will say, what you're going to see is not near as much meat as I could harvest. Okay. In a survival situation, this is a wonderful renewable resource and a high protein, high quality meat animal. But I'm picky. I can be picky. I'm not in a survival situation, so I only pick the best cuts. Anything that looks a little too stringy, a little too veiny, a little too funky, I go ahead and just cut that out and let the dogs have that. It doesn't go to waste. The dogs are very happy that I'm picky, I'll tell you that. But we've got about maybe, I don't know, 3 or 4 pounds, and we're going to add a bunch of pork fat to it instead of beef fat for our sausage. And I'll show you the seasonings and everything that I use, and we'll cook a little bit up and try it, and maybe if I'm lucky, we'll get a few people to try it later on, and I'll get a little video of that, and we'll show their reaction. So let's go inside and get started. All right, we're back inside. We've got all of our ingredients together except for the pork fat. There's all of our beaver before we've ground it. Here's all of our ingredients, and let's go over these real quick. We're gonna do 2 tablespoons of paprika, 2 tablespoons of black pepper or pepper medley, whatever you got, 2 tablespoons of thyme, 2 tablespoons of salt, 2 tablespoons of sage, 1 tablespoon of red pepper, 1 tablespoon of rosemary, and 2 tablespoons of brown sugar. Now that's going to be per pound, so we'll weigh everything out to know exactly what we're going to need, and then we're going to add that to about half a cup of cold water, and we'll mix it into our grind once we're finished. Alright, the kids are helping me. We're getting that fat and all the beaver ground up. And once we do this, we'll mix all of our ingredients, and then we'll grind it one more time. Okay. There's all of our beaver ground up with the fat. We ended up having about 5 pounds, 2 ounces of the beaver after I weighed it on our little scale. And then we added 1.5 pounds of fat, so we're sitting at 6 pounds, 10 ounces. So we've done our recipe times 7. And now we're just going to pour every bit of that. We ended up having to put about a cup of water in there. And I'll use my other hand and scrape out what's left. And now we're just going to sit here and mix every bit of this up. Alright, there's everything mixed well together. And now we're feeding everything through the grinder, and there's our finished product. So we're doing a final smaller grind on it, and that's also mixing all of our ingredients together. So we're just going to get this knocked out real quick. Alright, there's our sausage all done, and there's our skillet getting hot, because y'all know we got to try it. I mean, we can mix everything together, but if we don't taste test it on camera, did it even happen? So we're gonna try it. All right, y'all, we got it cooking up nice. We're gonna go ahead and try to give it a little flip here. Oh yeah. I wish y'all could smell this. This smells freaking amazing. All right, so we got the sausage done and cut up, and I've made the whole family come in here to try it. So, Fish, you gonna go first? Honest opinion.
I have tried this before. It's really good.
You've never tried it. This is the first time I've made it.
I've tasted this before.
It's the same recipe as the deer sausage.
Oh.
Autumn, you wanna try it? Let me see your face.
It's good.
Yeah?
Alright, Funky, you ready?
Bite. Bite.
You like it?
Oh, good. Very good.
Everybody's happy with that?
Yes, sir.
All right. It does have a little spice in it. But there we go. So
Why did you put spice in it?
here, I gotta try it now. All right, here we go. First piece of beaver sausage.
Get your juice.
That was really good.
Not really good. Got a kick, but it's good.
Yeah, it's got a kick. I might have added a little too much of that pepper flake. I went above and beyond the recipe because I like it though. All right, beaver sausage. It works. Okay, quick disclaimer. Make sure if you decide that you want to consume beaver meat, okay, that you cook it until it's well done. All right, that's how you get giardiasis, aka beaver fever. It's just like any other wild game, like pigs, like bears are bad about things like trichinosis. There's some foods that you can cook medium rare, like your venison, like your ducks, but beaver's not one of them. So just keep that in mind, and hopefully you look at a beaver a little bit different next time and see that as a renewable resource and a potential protein that can help feed your family. So, till next time, y'all.